On behalf of the Joint Committee for Evaluation, the purpose of this presentation is to explain the correction of a mathematical error found on one of our evaluation rubrics. The rubric that we are discussing is the Summative Performance Rating rubric that puts professional practice at 70% together with student growth, or SLO, for 30%. Just take note that 70-30 divide is the minimum required by state law in Illinois. The cell in question is the one that is highlighted in yellow. The original rubric had that cell labeled as excellent, and the correction that is being made is to label that cell as proficient. That means if a teacher receives a professional practice rating of proficient and a student growth rating of excellent, that the summative rating will be proficient. The justification for that is found mathematically on this slide. So this is the same rubric with numbers applied, professional practice ratings across the top, student growth ratings down the side. So at 70%, a professional practice rating of unsatisfactory equals 7/10. We double that number for a 2, we triple that number for a 3, we multiply by 4 for an excellent. Going down the column here for student growth, a 1 equivalent to an unsatisfactory is worth 3/10. We double that for needs improvement, we triple that for proficient, and we multiply by 4 for excellent. Using simple addition, then, we can produce a sum for each cell. And if you'll just take a look at this statement here, when using standard rounding for the sum of each cell, each rating is mathematically sound and consistent with similar cells, with the exception of one cell, and that's the cell that has been changed from excellent to proficient. So if you look at proficient professional practice, which is worth a 2.1, and excellent student growth, which is worth a 1.2, that produces a sum of 3.3. Standard rounding would mean that that is a score of 3.0, which is equal to proficient. The old rubric rounded a 3.3 up to a 4, which made that an excellent rating. That excellent rating, of course, is inconsistent with the cell that is grayed out here and the cell that is here. Just looking at one of these, if a teacher received a rating of unsatisfactory for professional practice worth 7/10 and a needs improvement rating for student growth worth 6/10, that would yield a sum of 1.3. Standard rounding makes that a sum of 1, which is correctly identified as unsatisfactory. Same thing could be said for this cell. So changing this is not only mathematically sound, but it also makes this cell consistent with the rest of the rubric. This change is effective immediately in accordance with the CBA, which says that any change made by the Joint Committee involving evaluation needs to be made by February 1st of that school year. However, we're also aware that based on this mathematical correction, there may be some teachers who want to complete questions on their pre- and post-observation forms, as well as Form H, that they chose not to complete earlier in the year when they were formally observed. So, those teachers are being offered the opportunity to do so with the timeline that's presented on this page. Again, this only applies to teachers who were formally observed this year and who maybe didn't answer questions associated with excellent critical attributes. So the presentation is being given on December 8th. We're asking teachers to notify their building administrators if they want to change any evaluation documents by next Monday, December 11th. We would like those changes to be complete by Friday, December the 15th, giving administrators and teachers time, if needed, to post conference December 18th through the 20th. Of course, extenuating circumstances will be considered, if there's any issues meeting these deadlines. If you have any questions, please direct those to your building administrator. Thank you.